This is the Momentum Movement podcast. So I'm Mark, I'm a senior engineer and director by day, building a life and a business around my family, not instead of it. Now, most people think that you have to choose between ambition or presence. You have to choose between the 9 to 5 or a side business. You have to choose between being there for your kids or building something that matters. I do not buy that at all. I believe you can be highly ambitious, driven, and still maintain presence for the things that are the most important to you. And that's absolutely the whole premise of this show. Every episode I'm aiming to sit down with someone building something real on the side, all while staying present for the people who matter the most to them. This isn't going to be any gurus, it's not going to be a total highlight reel, it's a warts and all discussion. Just the fundamental mechanics of how it all gets done in and around the edges. So, if you're a driven dad, a driven parent, trying to build momentum without losing what's in front of you, you're absolutely in the right place. Now, let's get stuck into it. Now then, what is happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of the Momentum Movement podcast. I've been away on holiday for a couple of weeks. Prior to the holiday, 6 episodes launched in 2 weeks. We definitely built momentum, but I'm reflecting now on, I guess, the holiday. I took a lot of time reflecting on the holiday, and what I said to myself was, I don't want to be one of these people who just starts a podcast and forgets about it and launches 6 episodes and buggers off. So the strategy now, Chris, is for 1 episode a week,
Sure.
2 guests and 2 personal. So you're the first guest of August. So welcome.
You went on holiday and you came back to me. I am so sorry.
I should have stayed in France. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should still be at Disneyland waiting in line. That's far better. But
Yeah.
I kid, but
So everybody, we've got Chris Scott on today as a guest. Welcome from, I'm currently in Poland at the moment. So welcome from Poland all the way to America.
Yep.
Chris, let's you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, I guess. Don't keep it professional. I want to know who you are personally. Go
do you
for
want
it.
like my bank
Introduce
account
yourself.
details? And I mean, what else do you want? My exact like latitude, longitude? I'm kidding.
No, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah, let's do that on camera. Hi, everybody. My name is Chris. I am based in Atlanta, Georgia, here in the U.S. I'm a 41-year-old. Let me run through my Threads bio, I guess. Like, I am a dad. I am a husband. I have been a HR leader for the better part of 15 years, working across architecture, engineering, construction, healthcare. Now spent the last 5 years in the tech sector. And when I'm not sparring with Mark on the internet and doing podcasts like this, I also love to barbecue, work out, play music. And I'm ready for all of the fall sports to start back so my life can go back to being miserable in all forms of football. So
Nice.
That's a little bit about me. And I guess, do you want me to get into midlife?
I'll lead with a few
Sure.
questions. But I was giggling to myself actually yesterday when I saw your Threads post, and it was like, right, I'm hopping on a podcast, and I thought, I cannot wait to be on the other side of a HR professional interviewing rather than being the interviewee.
Okay.
I was like, for all of those times HR have put me under pressure in difficult conversations, it's my turn now to then flip the switch.
Wow. Okay. Well, now I know why I'm really here. And I feel like a therapist could have solved some of these problems for you, Mark. But
it's an interrogation, Chris.
Okay. Well, it's a global intervention that's being recorded. Let's do it.
Nice. So I guess what I try to cover with the guests that come on is almost like what are some of the things in terms of like your origin story, milestones, and things that have shaped you in your life that have made you, and have put you sitting next to a 41-year-old fellow dad in the UK today.
Yeah, I think to give people I guess like as close to an elevator speech version of this as we can, knowing you through Threads, through the brands that we both have been building, what even led me to create the brand, I guess to your point of my origin story, 6 different traumas that happened over the span of 2 years, a lot of personal loss, became a dad, lost my grandfather, had a devastating leg injury. My kneecap blew up, tore my quad off the bone.
Wow.
Was burned out from day job, working 60 hours a week, not really feeling valued there. And so these 6 different, and I'm now, of course, now that I'm on camera, I'm forgetting one, but as all these things are happening and there's all this tension in your life, I could feel myself reaching a point of knowing that this wasn't like, this was not a sustainable way for me to live anymore. And
So
so,
just delving into that then. So was that a 6 year time? Was that a 6 year time frame?
no, it was 6 different things that happened in the span of about 2 years. Like it was like,
Wow. From which year to which year?
oh, this is now, when was my daughter born? This was November. She was born November, doing quick math. She was
yeah,
born in December of 2022. It was from like November of 2022 until about, we'll say August or September 2024. It was just death, trauma, burnout, all these different things coming together, not knowing who I was as a dad, like all these different identity things that were hitting all at once. And I could feel this tension building within myself around like, there's going to be a day where something's going to happen, whether it's of
yeah.
my choice or the universe or what have you. And a good friend of mine lost his dad to the same way that my dad passed. And I decided to use that time to do the only thing that I know how to do, which is if a friend of mine was feeling something, we go out and get hammered. We just drink everything we can drink. We laugh, we play songs, we cry, we do all that. And in the room, in the chair I'm sitting in right now, I wake up the next morning on a Thursday and I'm sitting here going, I cannot keep living like this. All
Yeah.
these things have happened. There's so many things that have happened that are not my control. Nothing's going to change unless I choose to change it. And so I sat here that day. I've got a whiteboard over here with dry erase.
And it was almost just like an epiphany and you having a quiet word with yourself.
1,000%, dude. It was, I said this in my newsletter. It's like the Matt Damon moment in Good Will Hunting. It's like that, just far less good looking. But like, I'm here like, where's my time going? Where does it need to be? Where does my time not need to be? What's important to me? And now I know like I'm speaking to some other concepts that are important to you and I both. But in that moment, it was like, I got to get control back. And the number one thing for me to do is control my time and where it's going. And so I go through and I essentially create a plan for where my life is going to go at that point in time. And I identify where some things need to change. What can I actually control? What people and other things do I need out of my life?
Yeah.
And I look at this and I go,
just out of interest, then before the 2 year of trauma,
sure.
What was were you doing that kind of stuff before, or was it
no,
you never scratched it? You never scratched that itch before?
And I think it's because you mentioned like kind of getting one back on HR today, but like when you spend all day, every day talking to other people about trying to do those things and like setting up like performance improvement plans or ways for people to grow in their job. And I had the thought, admittedly, like in the back of my head about like, I could do something like this for myself. There's nothing stopping me. But the only thing that was stopping me was obviously fear. But then like, hey, if I'm going to go and do this, there's some ownership that has to come with it. And if we're honest, I just wasn't ready to own it. And then when you're set up in that capacity and then life moves at a certain trajectory and you feel like you've lost all control, you almost reach a point of, I have written on my whiteboard right here, Batman in the cave. So if anybody saw that last Christopher Nolan Batman movie and like Bane breaks Batman, and I'm not going to do the Tom Hardy voice, but like what's going to break first, your spirit or your body? And like in that moment, I felt like I was Batman in the cave. And it's like, you got to get yourself out. Like no one's going to come help you, dude. So
no one's coming to help you. Yeah.
And so it's
almost like look at yourself in the mirror, slap yourself in the face a few times and go, I'm going to sort this shit out now.
Yeah. And admittedly I had slapped myself in the face, but I hadn't actually tried to change anything. You know, it's a bit of like, today will be a different day. But if you do everything the same, if you go through the same routine repeatedly, nothing's going to change. And so it was in that moment. And Mark, this all happened in the span of like, we'll say 15 minutes. It was like, I put together the plan and I took a picture of this whiteboard and I sent it to my wife. And she said, your handwriting is terrible. Fair. But she also said like, there's something here to this. Let's talk about it. And so when she came home from work that night, we talked about this and she was like, okay, I see what you're doing. This is really great. I'm really excited for you. And what she said, which is the reason why we were sitting here today, is she said, once you figure out what something like this is going to look like for you, this can probably help other people. And
what was that, just out of interest, what was that the personal exploration you did on a whiteboard that uncovered
Yeah.
some things for you.
I use in a lot of my materials that I use for Midlife Opportunity, I have repurposed what's called the Eisenhower Matrix, a classic time
Oh,
management technique.
love,
And
love it.
so, yeah, but like you and I have used it historically for, okay, which emails do I need to send? How can I delegate
Yep.
tasks? Do all this stuff. And I said, forget my daily life. Let's look at everything that is my world and what is number one? What's in that top quadrant? It's my family. It's me. That was the first time I'd ever said that, which is insane. But I said, like,
Yeah.
my family, it's me, it's my health, mentally and physically, it's all these other things. And so when you start to move through that and then you go, okay, well, what's not as important? I need to see the people in my life, but they're not as important as these other people. And you know
Yeah.
these things, but to write them down and have the visual of it was really, and then to move through and write down, like, I hated my job. I knew I had to leave, but to go, what's the number one thing that I need to delegate or delete? It was
Yep.
that job. And so to
I'm
put all
I'm a, I'm a f- I'm a firm believer in saying if it's not on the list, it doesn't exist.
yeah,
And far too many times as busy parents or adults, we keep stuff in here,
yeah,
which that doesn't heighten your awareness to change.
no,
It's so powerful going, let's get those thoughts onto a notepad or in front of us, and then you can see things more clearly.
absolutely.
And it's quite interesting because you will have left school at a similar time to me in the early 2000s, and
Yep.
we were programmed to finish school, get a job, and that job becomes your primary purpose.
Yeah.
And I had a bit of an epiphany like you that went, oh, hang on a minute, like let's look at life as a whole, and let's try to prioritize the things that are most important to us.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's yourself first, then it's your family, and then it's your creative itch is what I'm starting to uncover.
and admittedly, if you and I would have done this exercise 20 years ago, those pillars are going to look a lot different, right? Because we're
Correct.
chasing status, we're chasing the bank account, we're chasing corner offices, which used to be a thing that I dreamed about. I don't know why, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, man, it was fascinating to go through that exercise then and to realize, to your point, like writing something down. I say this on threads all the time. When you write something down, it becomes real, to your point.
Yeah.
And then it was how am I going to do this? What is this going to look like? I'm a very goal and process driven person. So let's set some goals and let's set some really big ones and others that are quick wins and make this a sustainable road for change for me. And what came out of that was very quickly, like, there were some people in my life who I was just giving too much energy to. And
Yeah. And you just had to put those guardrails up.
yeah. And especially as a
Yeah.
new parent, like, you're trying to maintain both worlds. And I realized in that moment, you can't. Like, that's part of the reason I was there. You're trying to be everything to everyone and you're nothing to yourself in the process. And that's not sustainable. And so by writing things down, making these quick decisions, starting to look for a new job, which took a while because then I reserved the right to be picky about what I wanted, as opposed to
Yeah.
just leaving for the next thing. It made me as a result more calm, more calculated, and more confident in everything that I do in life. And that is why I'm fortunate today to be doing what I'm doing with Midlife Opportunity and trying to take others through that journey.
That's awesome. Yeah, awesome. And like you and I are so aligned, like
No, I know.
systems and process driven. And actually, I'm a firm believer that any problem, no matter how big or small or what area the problem's in, there's solutions for everything. It's just around
Yeah.
surfacing the problem, making it visible and creating a plan behind it. And that's exactly what you've just explained then.
But it's also, man, like, you have to be willing to accept that it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like you have to be willing to own that. As I'm looking back at this board, like, this thing is still here. It's not, thankfully. There's a business plan up there, but it's like, you've
got Eisenhower Matrix in A3 on your wall still.
I may as well.
Yeah.
But like, it'd be another product. But yeah, it's just one of those things, that a concept that I learned about in an executive leadership course now probably 10 years ago, that like I would use every day in my day-to-day life as a quick 15-second in the morning. What do I need to do? Put it on a Post-it note, throw the damn thing away when I'm done with it. And how that little Post-it that I'd been using for years then became the big blueprint for how I could become the best me. It's fascinating how every part, I don't know if you feel this way, but how so much of what we're doing now and trying to help others, there have been bits and pieces of this journey, even well before you started your path as an entrepreneur and the role you're in now. I was thinking about it as I was getting ready for this.
Yeah.
there's so many things that now I can look back and say, this happened for this reason to put me in this situation, for all of it to come together and be able to
Yeah.
then say, here's this message, here's this idea, here's how it can help you guys. And so,
Yeah, I can relate to that. So when was it? It must have been 2015 or probably 2014, 2015. And I went on
yeah,
my first leadership development course. And
yeah.
part of that was doing a work-life balance wheel.
Okay.
And actually now my momentum score app is actually built on that discovery that I did. So it was very
Yeah.
similar to your discovery of, I'm going to look at my life, I'm going to be intentional around what's on side, off side, and I'm going to course correct certain areas.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, love it. Absolutely
Fascinating.
love it.
Well, it's
Um,
we didn't have to pay for the training and we got something out of it, and now look where we
we
are. So
we got a bit of free training, which is a
couldn't
backbone
tell
of
you
a business now.
couldn't tell you 95% of what the rest of that course was, but I got that one piece, and that's all that matters.
so so you're on a little bit of a mission now. Talk
Yeah.
to me about what your mission is and how through that learned experience that you've personally had, how you're looking to help other people.
It's fascinating now. I know we'll come back to like the logistics of like how to get business going, how to get people in the door and all that. The fascinating piece of it now is that like I have truly become a case study for the process that I've gone through. And now as I'm as I'm talking to people about this and they can see, and I've said this to other friends of ours that we mutually agreed we wouldn't talk too much
Yeah,
about this pod, but like I can sell anything to anybody if I believe in it. My product ultimately, and what I got on that whiteboard was the ability to take control of my life back. You give me time with anybody to talk about what's moving them, we're going to be able to find a way that they can hopefully decide there's a part of my life I can really work on. Now, I'm not here to be a therapist or a doctor. I'm not licensed in any of that. But
absolutely.
but I've realized, to your point, like the mission for me, the why is so clear. I created something to help myself that I now know for a fact can help other people.
So why not help other people?
Why not help other
Yeah,
people? And to
yeah.
go from, to your point, like, and I had this thought before we got on too. There's been so many times over the years where, as like a recruiter or an HR guy, like I had advice to give people and nobody wanted to flip and hear it. Like nobody, because like
No,
I'd come in like, hey, I hear you're going through something. What do you think about this? And they kind of tell you to F off because you're giving advice to them unsolicited, which, to be fair, I now understand. But I've realized like I've spent so much time trying to help people through these difficult situations to not have them buy all the way into it. They now like, I'm going to be just as vulnerable as these people are. And if there's things they want to
yeah.
work on, whether it's weight loss, career change, what have you, like I am in it with you. And I've seen that through a few of the people that I've started coaching already. So it,
That's awesome. And I've had that experience where actually you're a leader in work and you're trying to help people that are not receptive to being helped. Because you're the manager, you feel like you have a duty to help every person in your team, irrelevant of if they've got taken the responsibility to own it.
yeah,
And that was really difficult. I was in a site engineering role. No one really gave a shit, if I'm honest. But then I moved into a research and development role in a global arena, and
right.
everyone was so hyped up. Like the talent was amazing, and they were super keen to learn. And honestly, when you link in with people that you can truly help and that want to be helped,
Yeah.
how much fire does that light in your belly?
It's my everything. I mean,
Yeah.
outside of my family.
Outside of your family,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, outside of like the very top of the hierarchy of needs, but I would put this right up there. Like
Mm,
I've always been that person I can say where it's like, even when I didn't have any money whatsoever, like if you needed something, I had you. Like if you needed anything, if you needed somebody to come help you move, I was that guy. Like I
yeah.
was, and so to now be in a position where it's like, I really have something of value that has helped me. And to now be able to pull all this experience together and go to someone and go, what's going on? Let's talk about it. Let's take inventory of your world. Let's figure out what we want to keep, what we don't want to keep. Let's put a plan in place and let's go do it. It's it's getting back to, I gave myself permission to do the hard thing. And now I can be the permission guy for other people who are scared of change.
That's
That
awesome. That's awesome. Um, love it. Love it. So thinking around probably the last 3 to 4 weeks, what's the biggest win in life that you've had?
Well, in life,
Yeah, just I'm going
oh
completely
yeah, oh yeah,
broad.
you're going real
Yeah,
big for me. I figured we were.
and then I'm going to ask you just to pick one because I'm really annoying like that.
No, you're fine. That's as I totally get it.
Yeah,
Man, in life, my daughter's younger than your children, so we're at a fascinating development point. The term three-nager is very real in my house. So the
yeah,
yeah, so she's kind of a word I'm not going to say because I won't be caught on record saying that about my child right now. But we've had some very wonderful interactions, and it's just it's the coolest thing in the world when you're able to actually talk to your kid. At least right now, talk to me in a decade. So there's that
yeah.
component in life. In what I'm doing with midlife opportunity, like the coolest thing has been as I've had these wins, and like I said, as I've become kind of a case study for what I've created, a lot of what we talk about online is like finding your voice, knowing your story, knowing how to articulate. And I know like we'll try a billion different messages to try to get through to people. I feel like I have my voice now. Like I found a lane. I kind of
Yeah,
like, is it perfect? It's going to evolve always, of course, like the algorithm's always changing as we all talk about, but I know
but
what,
your scars, your story, your origin sticks
yeah.
with you for the rest of your life. So
Again, Mark,
yeah,
it's the permission thing. Finally giving myself, like the rest of us, like the rest of you guys, permission to just say the thing. And I've
yeah.
had some incredible wins online, I guess if it comes to views and things of that nature over the last few weeks, when I just got out of my own way and just said the thing. And then to see that resonate with people, to have grown an audience, to get not just more followers, but people on the email list and stuff, it's really cool. And it becomes this, you're at a different point in the ladder than I am, right? And as are others who are that we know who are creators. But
Chris, in all honesty, it doesn't matter how many followers you've got. Like as you're going through that journey of getting a great post out there, getting some great
yeah,
engagement, it's exactly the same no matter how your follower count. So like, take the
yeah.
wins, take the lessons. Yeah,
But the cool thing now is like all the work that has not been fun about building, because there's a lot of time building that
yeah.
sucks. We don't talk about that as much as we probably should, or like maybe some people do in bits and pieces, but like a lot of building this audience on Threads and Instagram at the beginning was not the most fun for me. But now that I'm Mark, I'm having fun. Like I know
Yeah, you're
about,
getting people commenting, you're helping people out. Yeah,
yeah,
this is great, isn't it?
it's a genuine. I had this conversation with a friend from Threads earlier. I said like, I'm having a lot of fun on Threads. I'm building connections, and the nice thing is like all the other things that are important are happening as well, but they're happening because the interactions are genuine, because I'm being
Yeah.
genuine, because I'm not going to write 74 posts all connected that all came from Claude. Like, not
No,
knocking Claude,
you're turning up, you're showing up, you're
yeah,
being your true,
it,
authentic self. Yeah,
it's the cool. And actually, to answer your question shortly, besides the business stuff, the other win, which I just realized, as someone who's never been a creative person, what this has unlocked for me, for like the ability to, like, you're a storyteller. I'm a storyteller. Every other creator is a storyteller. I've always had that in me, but I haven't worn that hat because I had to be the HR guy for the last 15
yeah,
years. And
yeah.
so now that
You were. It's that golden handcuffs of not being yourself.
I'm,
Yeah,
yeah, but now that I'm doing it, Mark, it's like, it's unlocked other creative parts of my brain where now
yeah.
it's like, I don't even play as much as I used to. Like I'm a better guitar player than I used to be. Like things are just different, man. Like unexpected wins. It's the coolest thing short of becoming a father and a husband. That is like the last
Awesome.
month has been one of the coolest times of my life by far.
Yeah, you talk about having fun. I've got a funny story actually to share. So last week when I was in France, for a laugh, I woke up and I told my wife she was my everything. So I normally get up and I say, I love you. But just for shits and giggles, I said, right, Lucy, you're my everything. Right. And she laughed violently in my face.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I put a post about that on Threads. It got a good little bit of engagement. And she sent me a screenshot this morning. Instagram had recommended her that post into her Instagram this morning. I got this
God bless.
screenshot and she said, what have you said about me here? So
I mean, God bless the algorithm for just helping you reminder. That's all it is. So
that's it. Yeah. So
what a
we're
gift.
having fun, aren't we? And that's it. Like
Yeah. Like
I've been on so many social media platforms, bloody Facebook, Instagram, and it's been too transactional and too performative.
I
We're
do.
having fun now.
I do, I do want to make sure that there's that, yeah, like people who are in this space are like newer people that are going to start doing this. Like I said, there's a while there where some of the minutia, at least for me, wasn't fun. Like, yes, I like data, but I can also be very bogged down by it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like, you can really nerd out in that world. And for a while, it just drove me crazy. But like, the more time you invest in those things, the quicker you figure out your voice, the quicker this all again comes together. And yeah, now like I'm on there because I want to be and I'm talking and all these other wonderful things are happening, meeting wonderful people. And if you would have told me on January 1st that this is what the year was going to bring, like this was never a part of the plan. So the fact that this
No,
is
no,
here and
no.
happening, the fact that I've got all these wonderful people in the UK and around the world who are like here to help and genuinely kind and everybody wants to see each other win, like this
It's
was
crazy,
never,
man.
it
It's
is crazy.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so eternally blessed and grateful. I know I say that to our little group chat all the time, but it is so true because how unexpected and what a blessing. Anywho,
Nice. Nice. So at the moment, senior HR professional, you've got
yep.
a fire in your belly and a side business you're building. You will hit 1K by the end of this week on Threads. I am guaranteed this.
I think we all got
Yeah.
put in Threads jail there for a little while, and
Yeah.
you know,
I'm the
granted,
same.
like you and the others have like billions of people between you, but for me and for me and my we account over here, uh, tomorrow I think is going to be the day. It'd be cool if it
Yeah.
was today, but when everybody sees me on the Momentum podcast, it's going to
Yeah.
happen. So
You're doing it exactly.
yeah,
So it wouldn't be the Momentum Movement podcast unless I asked you about some of those, like some of your habits, your routines, like
yeah.
how do you operate on a day-to-day, week-by-week basis to make sure you maintain that balance?
Yeah, I think that the important thing for me to do, I think again, you and I follow a very similar process when it comes to like the analytic piece. Um,
Yep.
because when it comes to like my day to day, like my 9 to 5 is pretty demanding of me. And so it's hard to be as in this as maybe I would like to be. I pull my data out of Threadify. I'm not sure how in the weeds people go. I forget what others have covered, but like there's a few
No,
different
it
tools.
doesn't matter. So
Yeah,
just in terms of 9 to 5, let's for argument's sake, 9 to 5, busy as
yeah,
fuck, like
yeah.
stressful. What happened? What's your kind of routine? Get up until
Oh yeah, okay.
nine to nine
Uh,
o'clock, and then like what does your kind of evening look like when the
and
kids have gone to bed? The
when
kids
I
have gone
wake
to
up,
bed.
first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, make sure everything's good to go for the women in the house. I
Yeah.
work from home. My number one priority is to make sure they have everything they need for their day because I'm here all day. So I get up, I do everything here. I usually have a few minutes in the morning where I can check in and see how the evening went. And I'll send a
Yep.
few replies out to people, see how things are looking that morning and go, okay. And it's usually like down a yogurt real quick, have a cup of coffee, get a little engaged, get out the door. Tend to check back in here. Obviously, 9 to 5 gets going. I usually check in again, kind of like late morning around lunchtime. Really just depends on how the day is looking. If it's
Yep.
ironically, if it's a heavy meeting day, I might spend more time on Threads because I'd rather be there than be in the meeting. I shouldn't say that, but it's true. And I definitely write my content for people who are sitting in meetings they don't want to be in. But
Yeah.
but then I come back to Threads, engage with people around lunchtime. I try to have my posts that hit midday be the ones where I anticipate that I'll need to be more responsive, so more open-ended questions, or if I've got a particularly polarizing statement, I'll aim for around that time. And then as we get through the afternoon, I'm hitting people on their drive home. In some cases, I'm literally talking about the drive home. And I really try to keep in mind what are people going through. At least now it's hard to write for a 24 times or, a global audience, but like I try to think, okay, where do I live? If there's 5 other guys in my city that are living the same life, like what could they be going through right now? And I try to
Okay.
speak to that.
So
Sorry,
how
go.
does your how does your weekly content creation look like at the moment? Because
Yeah.
I know when I first started with Threads, that was one area I struggled a little bit to get a routine in place that was
Me too.
manageable.
Yeah, I think, well, and that's what I was saying a moment ago. I think you and I are similar now in this regard, where like I have an idea. I'll pull my analytics from the week before, see generally, like I already have an idea of like the greatest hits, so to speak, of what's going to work.
Yep.
What are the new ones that didn't work? Okay, let's get those out of there. My big thing throughout the week is like I'm keeping tabs of ideas of new things that I want to share, right? I almost view it as like I'm writing for Saturday Night Live or something, where it's like
Yeah.
I'll
So
write
you capture thoughts and notes along
yeah.
the
And
way. Yeah.
like if it's one of those where I'm like, oh, this is amazing, and like the best one I ever had was one that just came to mind and I just threw it out there, then I'll ship it. But otherwise it's like, let's keep it, let's see where it's going to fit in the calendar. I'll usually take an hour on a Monday morning because Mondays are pretty quiet. Kids off to school, look at the data, what worked, what didn't, make some changes, preload my schedule for the week usually.
Yeah.
I don't deviate too much on the weekends because generally there's less engagement there and the things that hit generally hit. But I try to think about like, what is that journey going to look like that week? And are there other events in the world that I want to, kind of lean on a little bit? And
Leverage on. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like schedule it. And then, to your point, like schedule it and then just go talk to people and
Yep.
reply, engage, have fun, reply to the comments as they come in. And that's about how long it takes. Like to your point, when I started, it felt like it was all day, every day. And going,
Yeah. All I was thinking until I got a system in place, all I was thinking about was right, open drafts, right, post. But as soon as you get as soon as like the likes of Threadify or Momentum Hive, like set and forget for the week, like frees your time up to then engage.
And the thing is, like, probably the first 2 months, thinking back to late winter, early spring here, I was doing everything for 2 months on Threads proper. So you could only schedule out X number of posts. So it was like, dude, there's been so many parts of this process from like all the meltdowns I went through in life to even getting active on Threads. Like, I don't think there's a mistake I haven't made at this point in time where all of a sudden I'm like, what's this Threadify everybody's talking about? Then I find it, I'm like, I feel like I'm late to every party where it's like, everybody's doing this. Oh, it works out well. Oh, we've already moved on to the next thing. And like, not all of them are, or not all of them are going to be winners for me. But it's like, as I've found the tools in the system that works, yes, now it's become a lot less of a burden than it was before. I've almost given up on this. Like I'm sure everybody else has.
Nice. So
6 times.
in terms of your content, weekly content, is it primarily attention posts? Do you put anything on your profile around your personal struggles? Do you give any insights into that?
It's a balancing act right now too, because I think like we have the different concepts we want to try to touch on. So like they know, obviously, like people should know a bit about me if they want to be inclined to do coaching with me, right? And so I'm trying to lean more on those experiences recently. It's been and I think you can relate to this too. Like I've had a lot of winning content around corporate and my feelings around corporate recently. It's hard to not want to double down on that. And you're like, wow, this worked. Let's keep running it. But it's also like, I'm not just talking to people who are burned out in their job. I'm talking to people who can relate to my story. And my story is unique, just like all of our stories are. So I'm really trying to, I know that you get like, folks can get in the weeds on like, maybe post like the certain kind of emotion on like a Wednesday morning. I just find like, there's got to be a mix. There's got to be a mix. And you can't, like, you're not gonna be able to be everything to everyone, but like, let's find a way to hint at the corporate piece. Let's find a way to touch on who I am. Let's find a way to touch on some of the concepts that are in the material that is available in the ebooks I've written and the coaching that I do. It's a mishmash of all of it every day. So that's
nice.
That's really what I found has got me here so far.
Mate, you're doing, like, on the outside, as an outsider looking in, you're doing great. Like, it's a matter of turning up consistently and just rinsing and repeating. And as soon as you get that 1K, like the rest will be history.
And I appreciate how you and others have been like, oh man, you just hit like you just gained 200 this week. Like you're going to hit it over the week. First, I love you for your optimism for that. I was like, Mark's insane. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus, man, can I chill? I'd like to put my phone down and talk to my kid. But like, but it's been fascinating to, again, the numbers were not like, now that I've really arrived at the point of like, the numbers will be there when they get there. That's when it happened. And now it feels real and it doesn't feel forced. And it's just,
it doesn't matter about followers. It's about engagement. Yeah,
100%. And the people who see this, who decide to, go through or, come in through the funnel and check out the 5 stages of change and all that. I don't care what follower number they are. Like they're the most important one in that moment. And so,
nice.
It's just been, it's been a really liberating experience to go through, and long may it continue. And thank you for your time.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
because also I think that talking about your momentum as I cut you off on your own podcast, I remember when you had like 500 people, and to see you where you are now, like you guys continue to, there's an important thing I hope people hear who are newer to this, which I think I said to you when we spoke previously, and if I haven't, I'll say it now. What a good day looked like when things were bad here, now I get in a single post. So like this continues to ramp up. To your point, you show up, you produce, you deliver, you show value, all that stuff. But like you have to take a second, like we're talking about in life, like enjoy the wins. The win is me sitting here going like, okay, that post got 10,000. That's great. Like if I would
that's amazing.
Dude,
that's amazing.
If I would have done 10,000 in a month when I started, I would have lost my mind. So you just have
you can get so caught up in the momentum of it that actually you sometimes forget to go, Jesus Christ, if I look back 4 months ago, I was struggling to get 1,000, 2,000 or 1K.
Well, since you staged an intervention on the HR guy, I'm going to turn it back around on you. How many subscribers do you have right now?
Oh man, I have 346 subscribers. My goal for the year was 50.
346?
Yeah, man. I'm quite proud of that, I think.
Yeah, like
no, honestly, I had 20 over 6 months in 2025, and my goal when I first started working with Josh was I want 50 leads by the end of the year.
Yeah.
It was like over the last few weeks, I think I've 150 subscribers in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's
just it's amazing. It's amazing.
That tells me where I can go if I want to. So
I'm the kind of guy who measures his year, days, weeks, months, and years in percent. Right? I'm a bit weird like this, so I kind of see a year play out in quarter one. You're just deciding what you want to do. Quarter two, you go for it. Yep. Quarter three for me is a bit of a holiday season, like ticking over. But for me, starting to then come out of holiday season, thinking around September through to the end of November, because I always write off December because it's just festive period. No one gives a shit, right?
Nobody's doing anything.
What would you treat if we sat here at the 1st of December and you looked back at this conversation, what would you treat as the biggest win? What would make you happy? What would put a smile on your face?
That's a great question, because there's a lot of different avenues that are measurable. And
let's just think about just honing on the side business.
Yeah,
you've secured a first clients that you probably wouldn't have thought of. You'd have done 4 months ago.
It's funny. I think I'm actually thinking bigger than just between now and the end of the year, right? Which is insane. But I actually haven't talked about this. I haven't even shared this thought outside of my head, so I'm going to share it now, because kids have gone back to school here in the States effective the last 2 weeks. And I have 2 years until my daughter starts kindergarten. So I'm going to go bigger than just between now and the end of the year. By the time my daughter starts kindergarten, I want to have coached 50 people to help take control of their life back. And so for me, that's a big goal, like based on what I've set up with a 3-session program, 3 hours a week. Like there is potential there. It's a big ask of me. What that means between now and the end of the year is it'd be really cool to be in a position going into the end of the year where I've got really great usable feedback from, we'll say, 6 people solidly.
Yeah.
To be able to
which is the foundations. And in essence, I always liken going into Christmas as you want to be like a coiled spring or a catapult which is being drawn. So you want to come out of the festive period like a slingshot.
I want January and Feb, or I want Q1 next year to be the most insane time I've ever been through in my life. And the way that we get there, and I'm fortunate because of what I'm talking about, and if you're talking about end year, what do people you always look to do at the end of the year? They make resolutions. That's when they make changes.
But normal people wake up with a hangover on New Year's Day. They think about a resolution, then fuck it off.
Yeah,
we're not like that though, are we?
No.
We get things locked in December.
No, because you're the crazy asshole to be like 4 a.m. January 1st at the gym, already doing
Let's
it.
go.
3 hours of sleep with the Guinness in my hand. Let's go lift. I'm kidding. But
No, that's me. That is
yeah,
me.
you have a
Yeah.
brother. You have a lane. Stay in it. But
Yeah.
to answer your question, 50 people to help coach through change in the next 2 years. Between now and the end of the year, the objective is to get through. I need my coaching program to really get its teeth so I can market effectively, so I can lock those people in. And I've already shared this with others. I'm like, this is what I want to be in a position to do in January is what I thought I was going to do 2 Januaries ago. And I had no clue how
Nice.
to do. Now I have an idea how to do it. Now I just have to go and fucking do it. And that's on me.
Right. So I am hosting at the either back end of November or start of December a free annual reflection planning workshop. I want to see you on that, and I want to see you ring the bell.
Okay.
Get on that and ring the bell. 5 people, like a coil spring, ready to rock and roll for 27.
I literally already, most people don't
You've
know
got a
this.
bell.
No, I literally have a bell on this bookshelf over here because when they told me I was cancer free in February, a buddy of mine, being a smartass, sent me a bell from Amazon, and like nobody told me for days. I'm like, where did this thing come from? And so, thankfully, my toddler forgot I had it because she's rang it more times than I have. But to your point, I will be there in that meeting, November, December, whenever it is. I want to be able to ring the bell and be set up for success going into the new year for sure.
Awesome, Chris. I don't like to wish people luck because if you're intentional, if you show up daily, it will happen. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
If I can work 70% as hard as you, this won't be a problem. So just trying to follow your lead, brother.
Let's go for it. So just to wrap things up, appreciate that kind words, by the way. Just to wrap things up, quick fire, I do this with everyone, a quick fire, light-hearted, either your favorite book, a mantra, quote, or a daily ritual that keeps you honest.
I think actually one of my favorite books is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. If people aren't familiar with it, I know everybody generally refers to the same 10 to 12 books in the space right now, but one of the things for those that are new is knowing when to ride the wave for creativity. And that's something that I think early on we all expect we have to be at a 10 all the time on a scale of 1 to 10, which is
what does the book teach you? It teaches you to when you have those creative sparks, it's just to go, just to send it,
go.
Yeah.
And so that's where, like, if I have 3 days in a week where I'm super into this, that's the work I do for the week, and then the rest of the time I go and wear the other hats. So I love that book. It's probably my favorite of the year.
Nice, mate. Nice. So it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, Chris. If people have managed to stick around for this long, where can people find and follow you?
You can find me on Threads at mid.life.opportunity. I want to help everyone take control of their life back, not just now, but going into the new year. Whatever your issue is, we can get through it. We can help give ourselves permission to get to that point where we're not bogged down by any of those things anymore. And I'm excited to be that guy to help you. So please follow me there. I'm at the same handle at mid.lifeopportunity on Instagram. And the 5 Stages of Change is my free ebook that walks people through kind of a very baseline level of what my coaching program looks like. Everybody talks about the imposter syndrome. I have a step that nobody talks about, which is worse than imposter syndrome. I need you to read the ebook. Read about that. And if that triggers it for you, then let's have a discussion about how we can work through that particular issue and get you where you want to go.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you. And for anyone that's watching or listening, there'll be a link in the comments as well, just to make that seamless for you to follow. So appreciate it. I'll catch you all in the next episode.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Now that's the episode. If something in there truly hit home, if you took some golden nuggets from that episode, don't just nod and scroll past. We want people to take serious action around here. Do something with it this week. Identify one thing you can take and move forward with it. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow the show. And please send this to a dad or a driven parent who needs to hear it. This is how the momentum movement grows. So just to close things out, I'm Mark. Please keep building, staying present, and building rock solid momentum.